Hey, something smelly happens, and then
what if it came out of it's out of your ass, and it's wet?
What are you
it's like
talking
a brown
about?
puddle, and it smells. You made a brown. You are.
Why are you
You're wet with poop.
Jesus.
I'm fucking tired, dude. We just got home.
Yeah, but there's no excuse for what you just did.
Yeah, there's all kinds of excuses for it. Handsome. Griffonas.
You're listening to Walking the Room. This is the most disappointing beginning to a podcast ever.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm Dave Anthony, and I'm here with Dana Gould, and we are doing a podcast called Walking the Room.
Where did Greg go?
Oh, it doesn't matter.
No, I'm here, guys. Hey, guys, I'm here, right? What happened?
We were all in New York this
past weekend, last night.
But did not know it.
No, I should introduce you as you're America's original emo comic.
It's so true.
And
Not to be confused with Emo
not
Phillips.
to be confused.
I remember the other days
Not
you'd
emo.
go out to a club, you'd see Dana perform, and you'd have people walk out shaking their heads, going, "Feelings? What the fuck?" he felt there. He felt like what? It's a
You
phone.
should get that.
I mean, can we just?
It's your mom calling for. It's your mom. Where's my cigarettes?
Can we just do one podcast in your closet that's professional?
I know. It's weird that there is it is weird that there's a phone in the closet.
For some reason, all I want to talk about is patterns versus stripes versus plaids.
Yeah.
Why is there a phone in your closet?
I don't know. We did. That's the way it came in the house.
You have. And then I died. You have a bukkake of plaid in your closet.
I did. You. First off, you get a plaid facial every time. I get a plaid facial every time I come in here, and I love it. I'm on my knees, and I'm just like, who's got another plaid for me?
I think it took me a year to stop looking at the clothes all the time.
Yeah.
It took me about a year.
I haven't been eye level with this much plaid since I blew the guards at Edinburgh Castle.
We should stop the podcast. That's as good as it's going to get. We should stop it right there.
God.
Dana Gould's like one of our oldest
we were
friends,
all
right?
in New York. We were all in New York this weekend
At
the same time.
It was
Yeah,
really
which
weird.
is weird. It's weird that our careers are all still happening, given where it's at. Like literally, we were just like they're on simmer, but they're back there.
Yeah,
They're all.
we were
cooking.
all scratching out a check in New York.
How did
Right.
your
Dana was doing the program that I did last year at this time called "You're Too Fucking Old for This, But Okay."
Right.
Yeah.
All
Because-
thanks to the same person, the
Because-
lovely and
because-
talented David Martin.
You know what they can't? Here's what they can't get past is you're also the only guy that can do 15 minutes at the end that will feel like the end of a show. Everyone that closes that show is in the old category, and everyone that closes that show is an actual comedian that's been doing comedy for the last time. And even though they don't want you on the show, they know you're the only way to close the
It's
show.
really interesting,
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
not like the people that go before you are bad. In fact, some of them are spectacular. Pete
But they're
Holmes did it
learning
last year,
still.
but they're learning, and they're not guys that do.
And you stopped learning a long fucking time ago.
I haven't learned anything since 2001.
When people.
Well, that's when the planes hit the.
Oh yeah, that was the day I decided no more comedy. Remember that after 9/11?
Did you really?
Irony was dead. No.
Oh.
No,
I made jokes about 9/11 on 9/11 while watching 9/11.
I went up and did a show at the Mint, and I went up on, and this is like 3 days later, I went up on stage, and I remember Fitzsimmons was sitting in the audience, and I did a joke, a 9/11 joke, and this woman just goes, "Too soon." And Fitzsimmons starts kind of laughing, and I looked at her and I went, "I worked in the buildings." And then it was just weird.
Right? Yeah, it's like, but I'm still weirded out. I bet you know what she thought at that moment? Then why weren't you there that day? Why didn't you go to work?
I was
work.
always late. I mean, let's be honest.
Because I'm Jewish and we got the secret phone call.
I met a guy who showed up to work. He was late for work, and he walked out of the subway and saw the plane hit.
I met a girl this weekend, a friend of Karen Kilgariff's. Her name was Albertina, I think, and she was on a flight
That
home
sounds
from
like a man
Yes,
who's dressed up as a woman. I'm Albertina.
Yeah.
It's 9/11. I'm a lady going to New York.
I'm a pretty girl going to the big city. And have you guys seen this Sex in the City? God damn it. It just made me want to get a cunt.
I'm the star. I'm the star of that new sitcom, That He She. She's him. That's the name of the show. She's him.
First off, that just got picked up by Adult Swim.
Yep.
And then noted to death and never made it out
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
gate.
never made it on air. Now it's just about a woman.
Instead of a woman, could it be a stapler? And instead of having a problem, could she be stuck in a swamp? Sure. Now make no two lines connect.
How come? Well, I saw a stapler on my desk and my kid loves swamps. Good enough for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched 9/11 happen with the writing staff of The Simpsons, where I was working at the time, and
my God.
at my house. We all went to my house, and we want to watch it.
Were you
Let's go
guys
to
just
my
sitting
house.
around trying to punch it up?
I didn't go into work. Some people went into work and because they got in early, and then they they finally called it a day at around noon. Like, oh, we're not going to get anything done today. That was the boss of the show at the time. So half the people came to my house, and we towards the end of the day we started like somebody made a joke, and then somebody else made a joke. I made a big joke, and then we all looked at ourselves like, we can't do this.
This is
And
wrong.
And then George Meyer said, if they didn't want me to laugh, why did they do such a funny prank?
Oh my God.
I think that was
that's
George
fucking
Meyer.
dark. That
I
is
don't-
fucking
let
dark.
me let me apprise that. I think it was George Meyer.
Here's
I might
the
be
thing.
wrong.
Well,
I don't want
if it
anybody.
wasn't- if it
I don't want
wasn't, though,
anybody
I-
shooting George Meyer for that.
No, but if it wasn't George Meyer, what doesn't mind having that attributed to him? If he's
No,
listening,
he doesn't. No, he doesn't. No.
He's,
Yeah.
what I was about to say is that this girl that I met this weekend was flying home from Ireland and heard the news from the pilot. They
Oh,
were They were
God.
the first flight coming into New York, the first international flight coming into New York, and they had to go to
Diverted.
Newfoundland, and then they lived there for 4 days until she escaped from an encampment.
Matt Selman got diverted to Kauai.
Holy fuck! Get the fuck out of here.
Holy shit!
Matt Selman was flying back from somewhere, and they got diverted to Kauai for 4 days.
That's
my God, that's
amazing.
Oh my God, the world is falling apart.
Do you like watching chickens run around?
Look at the humanity, the thousands of God.
Oh my God, that's right. Random roosters.
Random
It's
roosters.
beautiful.
Yeah,
Man.
cats and roosters.
But this-
It's nothing
but this girl-
feral cats and roosters.
When did you learn to surf? 9/11. Fuck, man. I'm sorry. What happened was
21 sociopaths decided to change the world, and I learned how to hang 10.
Every time I think about 9/11, I think about snorkeling.
Every time I think about 9/11, I see that fish that's in Finding Nemo, the little orange one.
Yeah, that's what I tell people. I talk about how True is able to. I've talked about my daughter about how she's lovely, but maybe not the sharpest tool in the shed, but she can surf. She got up immediately.
Wow.
25 times in a row, she just got up and rode it, and I was like, because she has no idea what's underneath. Like she
Sure.
thinks it's Nemo. Like she's sure there's talking fish under there. She has no fear because she doesn't know where she's doing.
And how old is True now?
She is going to be 10.
Wow,
She's
that's
be
good.
10 in 2
That's
days.
good. My
She's a post
9-year-old,
9/11 baby.
right?
Yeah.
My 9-year-old is very adept at roller derby.
Yeah,
She's in
sure.
she's in LA Derby Dolls.
Is that right?
I'm
Wow.
sorry.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need you to back up.
They're in junior derby
Now,
dolls.
How does that happen? How does she get into?
I know because I do Lucha Vavoom. I
Right.
know, which is a Mexican wrestling burlesque review.
Yep.
Oh, everybody knows what that.
Everybody knows what Lucha Vavoom is, dude. That's like explaining
there's a
Nickelback.
person-
Everybody knows. They've heard it.
As one of the many things that I do that have held me back, I devote a lot of time to a burlesque review.
Yes.
That goes on downtown 4 times a year.
Yeah.
You know.
Instead of befriending famous people that could move my projects along.
Right. Or just
I know
go-
Cassandro, a tranny from Juarez.
Yeah. I don't know if you got the bulletin, but we were alerted 2 weeks ago that tranny is now in the
Derogatory?
list. Derogatory in the list of things used by bullies. So
Oh, okay.
trans is the word.
Trans, okay.
Yeah,
Trans-
it's not as fun.
Trans, like the Neil Young album?
That's exactly right.
Okay,
It's
good.
exactly-
Okay.
It's
like the great Neil Young
the
album,
great
Trans.
Yeah, trans.
But
I liked his rockabilly record. I'm not gonna lie.
long story longer,
Yes.
I told my kids, I have like you, I have a 9-year-old, an 8-year-old, and a 2-year-old. And I was talking to the 2 older ones, and I said, all girls, I want you to do some kind of activity. You don't have to do organized sports. I hated them, so I'm not going to make you do them. But you have like softball, soccer, there's a gymnastics thing, and then
Right.
my friend Rebecca is in the Derby Dolls, and they have a junior thing, and I just went like, or you can do roller derby. And they both went like roller derby.
Oh my God, I would like to get that information.
Yeah,
from you,
I'll get
because
it from you.
I'm sure True will like that.
And, we can carpool over. She loves it. They go Wednesday afternoon and Sunday mornings.
shit.
Let me
And
just
they
say
love it.
that you two guys carpooling over to roller derby.
There's your
with
show.
daughters is the most Hollywood thing I've ever heard in my life.
How about, do you? Or is it just weird? Like it's. I mean, look at I like the idea that there's a junior version of that, and there's also like a junior rockabilly league too, where you can just go ahead and start dressing like Betty Page.
Why do I
Right.
live in New York? Why do I live in L.A.? Because Halloween in L.A. starts September 30th. That's why I live in L.A. There's a haunted house every 3 feet.
Yep.
That's why I live in L.A. because of all that stuff.
No, literally, our neighbors buried real zombies. Like they fucking
Yeah.
they have a guy that gets out of the law. Like people
Yeah, I
go
love
fucking
that.
nuts for that shit here. That is fun.
When my middle daughter was 4, younger, we went trick or treating, and she'd look at the house, and if the display was too much, she'd come back and she'd go, "Too scary for me." And then I'd have to walk up with her, but she would know, too scary for me.
This one's, no, this one's not going to work.
But there's a weird thing I took my kids
I
to
do that
see.
with a lot of the sitcoms on networks.
Yeah, too
We're
scary.
It's scary for me.
Oh my God,
And
I was
say it
watching.
like that.
I was watching them on the plane. I don't watch any.
No, who watches? I don't watch sitcoms anymore at all.
I watch Charlie Rose because it's like a magic talking shoe interviewing Henry Kissinger.
And he's a dick.
Yeah, I heard that he's a real.
Is he a
cock.
dick?
Yeah. When I was in New York, I had to wait on him once, and he's just one of those guys that stands out. He was just a fucking asshole.
Yeah, I heard he's a
Just a
cock.
pure. Like, it's amazing that a guy that does that, like, you would think that guy would be a nice guy, right?
Yeah.
Because he's doing intelligent interviews, and like he's the only guy doing it. But then he's just a fucking asshole.
Yeah, I hear he's a real cock.
That's weird. That's
right?
Yeah, you seem like you found a nice niche. You do adult.
You know who else is a
conversation.
giant cock? Is Garrison Keeler.
I've heard that.
Yeah,
I've heard that.
I was in
I have heard
Aspen
that.
at the comedy festival, and there were these guys with hot chocolate backpacks. There's your band.
Wait a minute. What?
They have hot chocolate backpacks.
they made-
That's something you do not want in prison, my friend. A hot chocolate backpack.
Or maybe you do.
Yeah.
You know what's weird is that was actually my nickname when I was in prison.
There are certain things that you would love to have in regular life that you don't want in prison. Banana
First
cream
up.
pie. In prison, you do not want it. Chocolate sundae. No, sirree, Bob. You do not want a
Now,
chocolate sundae. in
is
prison.
a hot chocolate backpack like a Dirty Sanchez? Like, is that like a thing where somebody fucking
It's when your nape is slathered
in fresh duty?
So I'm confused. So it's a backpack filled up with hot chocolate.
it's
They had like a
yeah,
pour.
they have a tank. They have
and
like
then
a tank and a backpack and a squirty thing in the front.
And then
a pour.
do they squirt you and you run around and
No,
then
they
they're
have little
squirting you
cu-
like
no, they
it's
have
like
little
a,
Yeah, it's like at concerts. Like I remember you two tried this Friday horrible. They had a hot chocolate gun where they would spray the audience with hot chocolate, and there was a lot of people like
Never worked.
the burns. It was a bad idea.
But they're very sonorous about. We consider spraying people with hot chocolate a sacrament. Oh God!
Oh,
Can't you have fun and call it fun? Remind me to rag on you two in a second, but I have to finish this story.
Can't you have fun and call it fun?
I was talking to one of these hot chocolate backpack guys. That yeah, you want a hot
course
chocolate?
you
Yeah,
do.
it's cold. Pff. And I go, "How you doing? You like this?" And then I go, "So, is everybody nice, or has anybody been a dick?" And they go, "Everybody's been great, except Garrison Keeler. That guy's an asshole." Out of nowhere.
How can you be an asshole to somebody like hot chocolate?
guys.
I was talking to the flight attendant on the flight to New York, and I said, like, I know you can't say this, but have you ever had any big celebrity assholes? And the one went, Megan Fox.
Megan Fox.
Oh, yeah, she's supposed to be the worst.
Is she?
Yeah, she's supposed
Did
to be
not
fucking
hesitate.
Unbelievable.
Okay.
Wow.
You
Yeah.
too. Have you seen from the Sky Down, the new U2 documentary?
No.
Here's a great story. No. U2
Are they
felt,
saying they came from this guy?
I don't know where the name came from, but this is a brand new documentary, and it's about the making of Achtung Baby. And the story
Oh
goes-
yeah, I heard about
I've
that.
always been
Yeah.
wondering about that.
I have it.
I know, right? My God, why is that period been kept in the dark from us?
I know.
This is all you
That's
need to
been
know.
a gaping hole. That has just been a big butthole, an open
Yeah.
butthole for me for so long.
That's the one where the
What?
edge. That's the album where the
I
edge
don't know.
goes.
It's the gaping- Yes.
That's
Yeah.
that album. So the story is about a band who feels that they're being taken too seriously. After Rattle and Hum, people think we're too serious. So to lighten their image,
Was that because
they
you
go
made-
to Berlin.
That's it. I love it.
Where can we have a madcap romp? Where can we just divest ourselves of all of this heaviness?
Yeah,
I know.
They were not the Stones.
They don't know how to have fun.
No, the
No, they
Stones knew
really
how to have
don't.
fun. The Stones invented fun.
To quote Andy Kindler on Whoopi Goldberg, they could slip on a banana peel and fall face first into a Boston cream pie and make it tragic. That helped that joke so much. That was the punchline warning. Punchline approaching.
Are you going to try and turn the ringer off?
I'm just going to unplug it.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Yeah.
Everybody loses. Look, here's our deal. We're going to invite you into a place to talk into a microphone, and then when you start and you get to a point where you're going to hit a joke, we're going to have crazy noises happen.
That's okay.
Yeah.
When you come in a little bit to do my podcast, which is what fucking is like now. I did her podcast. She did my podcast.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to have her parents on my podcast.
Yeah.
Next.
I think it's nice. We're all going to get together. We're doing a Christmas podcast together.
Man, I think things are going really good with Sheila. Her parents want me to be on their podcast. Oh, man, that's great. Yeah, she didn't like my parents' podcast.
What about when somebody comes and does everybody's podcast? You're like, oh my God, that's such a podcast whore. Oh my God.
When you come to
there are podcasts where there are people.
And Facebook wall whores.
What?
Facebook wall whores. Like the minute you post something, they're the first person on it. Like,
oh, yeah. They
when you come to do the Dana Gould Hour.
Yeah, Dana Gould Hour.
This is what you'll get. And then anyway, I found out later that the guy next door to me actually killed Mr. Dana, are you finished? Mina, please, Mr. Dana, can I use the dryer? No. We're in our little shed out back.
I love it.
Do you have a sound studio set up out there?
No. I have equipment. I have a Fernie pad that I suspended from the ceiling because Eddie Pepitone's on a lot, and he is the vicar of volume.
Yeah.
That guy knows how to.
Knows how to. He'll crank
so
it up.
Funny.
Yeah, that's it. That's a beauty. It's like a turbo blast of. It's like Bleach. It's just pure funny all the time. He said something I still laugh at. I was telling a story about I almost lived with an animal in college. My college roommate in my sophomore year, I got my room assignment, and you're Kennedy 202, and who's your roommate? Joanne DeLucci, and even like the people at the desk went, oh. And I get off the elevator, and it's just literally a half-inch trail of dirt in the hallway to my room. Literally like Pigpen from Charlie Brown.
Yeah.
Dirt. And I go into the room, and there's just a shaved gorilla, just this giant Italian guy sitting on the bed. The floor is all dirt, like there's going to be a hoedown soon. And he was the linebacker of the football team, just this. And there was another guy from the team in the room. And the minute I walked in the room, I just looked in the room, and the other guy went, "Let's get you fixed up." Like he was very nice, and we just went down to the desk, and then when I got to get another room. And they moved me to a different guy.
My God.
My feet didn't even enter the room. So I was telling that story, and I just was, I had this fantasy that I would become friends over time. Like, finally he would like break down and say something to me like, "How you doing, Joe?" "Stop man running."
We on my dorm floor, the University of Oregon was not good when I was there at football, and so they had guys that looked like ball players, but were like literally this far from prison. We had a guy named Doug Herman who was this big, really handsome, like blonde, curly-haired fucking dude, and he was super nice, really stupid. But he literally treated the whole dorm as though it was just his room. So he would fucking walk naked to the shower.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
He would fuck in his room, like he'd just bring a girl back, and they were just these little rooms with 2 beds. So his roommate would literally just watch him fuck hot chicks in his bed, just fuck right. The girl would get on top, and just fuck, and my buddy would be sleeping across, going, "Hey, Doug, should I go?" Doug's like, "I don't fucking care." He would fuck. One time, he was fucking 2 girls in the shower, the big community shower, and he put a piece of tape over the world that said, "Don't fucking COM in here. Don't come in here." He'd forgotten the E, and he was fucking in the hallway, and we all stood outside and listened to him bang chicks in the echo chamber of the fucking bathroom. He was fucking insane. They were terrible.
He was having the greatest college experience of
his
all
life.
time.
It's all over for him now.
I know. There's guys like that. I can't comprehend.
He was just a beast, and he was the same thing. Like knock people down. You nice.
That's it. And this is why I was like, that's all where we go. Eddie Pepitone, when I told that story, immediately went to. He later became the philosophy chair at Heidelberg. We all exist to stop man running. Eddie's so beautiful. Eddie's like a crazy poet. There's a great documentary about Eddie called The Bitter Buddha.
I've heard that. I've heard it's great.
Really?
Yeah. He's a good egg. And I'll tell you, here's another thing I like
Good
about him.
guy.
And I was kidding about Podcast Horse because I think you should go on as many podcasts as possible. That's what this whole thing's about.
Well, the money. I do it for the money.
I randomly, well, that's what fuck. This thing is just, people don't understand what a money train this is.
Cool, yeah.
So I'm so glad it's on the down low. How much fucking cash we're all making up this shit.
I'm writing a book tell-all called Behind the Podcasts. And it's just about, the scene and what's going on behind. And what really, because the thing about podcasts is no one understands what's going on behind them because this is all showbiz.
Bono on podcast, we believe it's like a sacrament. every podcast is its own Bible. Why did you go on Fart Circus? Well, we felt that it was very deep.
It's... Eddie will...
Fuck you! I hate humorlessness so much.
Oh my God! There's two guys that are fans of ours that have their own podcast, and it's not a big podcast. And fucking Eddie went on it, and he was fucking great. And he was on a phone call, and it was like, I guarantee you, these guys hit him up on Twitter, and he just said yes.
Yeah.
And the approachability of certain people like that, because everyone loves Eddie, and he's on a lot of things, and people get him. And if you're a comedy fan, people fucking love him. But the fact, and he spent an hour with these guys, and it was very sincere, very smart conversation about shit.
awesome.
He was really, he's a fucking good egg.
Now
we cannot have him on our show.
I'm gonna have to apologize.
he cannot be in your closet.
I'd say 3 years. I'm gonna have to apologize to Dana's family. Because apparently I talked Dana into doing a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were the guy,
Well, you
really.
should just go over to HBO and explain to Sue why they're getting divorced.
She loves that I'm busy. Let me tell you something that I'm not good with. Free time.
Oh, I can imagine.
Oh, God.
That's why
I just jack off.
Like a monkey over.
Yeah, my cock looks like the handlebar grip of a child's bike. It's all worn perfectly to my hand.
Yeah, I have to beat mine against the side of the bedpost just to get it start.
Yeah, I know.
What?
I think,
but that's why people always say to you, how do you have time for a band? And you do a podcast, like that. I go, because there's fucking nothing else to do.
Yeah.
I mean, these are little fake careers I've made up in lieu of having actual
And
work.
you can't write, and that, even if you write for a living, you can't write for 8 hours.
No, you can't. I
it's-
can't.
It's exhausting. It's like it's sprinting. It's like you can't sprint for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And I don't know how
in a stretch, what do you write for? Max 3 hours?
4. I can do 4. Yeah,
You can do 4.
Yeah,
Okay.
four's about right. Otherwise, it.
Yeah.
But then after 4, you're just like,
Yeah.
you're just mush. I am one of my people. I'm truly amazed by Stephen King, who's just like, I get up in the morning, I write I do my 8 pages, and then I can do what I want with the day.
But there's that guy too, and you talked about
and
this.
I wish I was him.
You've talked about this before about Stiller, about how you got to town and went, oh, okay, I see how this works.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah,
I thought I was going to be a big star because everybody told me I was going to be a big star, and then I met Ben before he was a big star.
Yeah.
But I spent like 10 minutes with him. I was like, oh, it's that. Forget it. Fuck that.
Yeah. His work ethic is I don't understand. I mean, I guess once you get the machine rolling, and then there are things put in place for you.
But
he fucking works his
really hard,
ass
man.
off,
Yeah,
man. He really fucking does.
Yeah, he deserves everything he has. And I know other people that have directed stuff, and I see them working, and I see Ben working. I'm like, oh, that's how you do it.
All right, we're gonna take a
I'm
break.
never gonna
Okay.
do it,
Are we?
ever.
But I want to.
We've been taking a break though.
this
We
is
should
the-
we should
Have we
start
started yet?
podcasting.
This is we're gonna be right back.
Did you want me to put up the banjo?
Welcome back to Walking the Room.
Yeah, we fucking just got in. I was just telling these guys, my wife is upset with me right now, understandably. She had a horrible weekend. I had the best weekend of my life. I come home and I want a parade.
You want to talk, and you want to talk about how great it was.
I feel like Saturday night we won the fucking Super Bowl, and then I wanted the parade when I got home. And when I got home, the streets were fucking empty, and because my daughter's going through a horrible thing with her knee and blah 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 blah. So I'm living in a world that's all about me.
Yeah.
Most of the time, and I've not paid enough attention to my familial. It's a bad, and my wife's upset with me, and it's so hard.
And like a man, you're cowering in your closet.
That's fucking so true.
Okay, and I know you're mad at me, but I gotta go talk to a couple of buddies in the closet.
That's exactly what just happened. I'm literally downstairs going, I know, I can see you're in tears, but I have these two. We gotta, data from. Remember, we all pretend we have a career, so we're out there doing our fake radio shows.
Oh God,
we're gonna be at his fake radio show in a couple weeks. My career's at part. This is all for the family. I'm doing this for you. Don't you get this?
Do you know how much steam I could buy with the money I make on my podcast? Do you know how many dead leaves I could haul into this house with the money I've made on this podcast? I could go to any Starbucks and walk out of there with my pockets groaning with equals. It's the money I've made from this podcast.
But it's insane about the real, like, A, we're supposed to be writing a screenplay together, which she's doing 90% of. B, she's also does all that. Like, it's a women's world. Her life is so much different than mine. It's filled with actual responsibilities, real successes, and real ups and downs with my kids. While I'm on the road playing, I'm in a band. So it's fucking, I feel like an idiot today. I just feel, that weird thing where,
Well,
there's just a
it's really,
disparity.
we have a really weird life where we go out and do some little magical thing it's just bizarre. Like, because you could be going through the worst fucking hell in the world and then go have this amazing show.
Yeah.
Other people don't have that in their lives, so they don't go to their job and I accounted the shit out of it. I put together some fucking W4s that were incredible. Like,
and it is like songwriting, and it is like painting. It's like if you get a good version of what you do, that you're completely happy. Like if I write a joke that I think works,
it can carry you for the day.
I'm completely happy.
Yeah.
And other people don't live in that world. They can't relate to it
at all.
And my wife has a very good job. She works at, as you all know, my wife works at HBO.
Your wife was my agent at one
She
point.
more than
Yes.
works at it. She's
in charge of a lot of the
Stuff.
stuff that you see on that network.
the channel.
Yeah.
She's also three things. She's talented. She's really kind, and she's
very
foxy.
nice lady.
Yeah,
She's a good
she's
looking
made
lady.
one
She's hot.
edgement in judgment. What do they say? Edgement. She's made one error in judgment.
Not an edgement?
No, she's made one error in judgment.
Yeah.
And he's your guest. But
That's why I feel about my wife's impeccable career.
It's
Yes.
sort of like I have one tiny physical problem, and other than that, I'm perfect. What
does
is
she
it?
introduce-
A 10-pound hump. But outside of that, I'm flawless.
Does she introduce you as like, and this is my mistake?
This is my albatross, she calls it. But when they were first putting the show Boardwalk Empire together, I was telling the story. Like, we're in the car driving, and I wrote this great joke that I tweeted about. In L.A., there are these people that dress up like celebrities and stuff in front of the Chinese theater, and they sign autographs and pose for photos. And I said, "So, honey, here's my joke." So, the superheroes outside of the Chinese theater, is it a wet homeless guy dressed up as Spider-Man, or a regular guy dressed up as wet homeless Spider-Man?
Because I'm about to fire my tweet off. I need.
I'm good. How about that? And I thought and I get halfway through it, I'm like, is it a regular guy dressed up as and around the D of Spider-Man, her phone lights up and it says, "Incoming, M. Scorsese." And she's looking back and forth. And there's a wet homeless guy. You should take this.
Can I tell you?
Did you jump out? Did you just open the door and jump out of the running car?
Oh my God! There are two things. There are two things to learn from that story.
Yeah.
Number one, if you're tweeting, you're not really in show business. Like if you're a guy who's in show business who tweets, you're not really in show business. And also, when you're talking to someone who doesn't have to tweet, like my wife doesn't have to tweet.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
she gets to
I
live
have
in the
to.
real world, where she's connected to real people and
Yeah.
real things, and she's having real adventures. I'm having fake ideas that I'm throwing at people.
Yeah.
Like that same thing where you're like, I have fucking explained tweets to my wife, where she's just like, I don't even know what you're telling me. Did that go well for you? I don't even know what to look for.
Yeah.
And did you get a lot of retweets? Is that what you're supposed to get? Like, I want to.
You don't understand how my Twitter feeds my Tumblr, do you?
I don't
You don't
either.
even understand that.
I don't know.
Do you know how many fucking hats I got today?
Yeah.
Like to try and explain how pathetic. Like it's just. So
It's like
pathetic.
talking to a worm.
First off, if Patton retweets my tweet, do you understand that 500,000 people see that and 4 people add me? It's a bit. We had a big day at the corporation today, by the way. Just letting you know.
What about this?
Where are
I can't help you take care of the kid right now. I have to live tweet the presidential debate.
Listen.
What are you talking about?
I don't need to get checks. We get a value pack in the mail. We are rich in savings.
Amir, if you're listening to this, and I know you quit a while ago, leave.
No, don't.
Get your shit and leave. You are right. Your instincts
because
are right.
I can't do a podcast with a broken you.
Yes, you can.
That's
Yes.
already bad enough. Jesus Christ. I mean,
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
Yeah. No, have her go.
I know immediately, like when when I get thrown out. Like, it's just going to be a studio apartment above a Menchie's and a lot of crying wanks. Staring at a bare light bulb, but unable to, here's my theory, unable to even jerk off because I'm over an ice cream store and all I can hear is the sounds of happy children drifting up, so I can't even do that. It's just nothing. I'm denied everything.
Yeah, and just trying to find out things about Sue on Deadline Hollywood. She's seeing who?
What? I think that
what's her mouth? What happened to her mouth? That's a smile. A what? A what?
A smile.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, that's what happens when you stand next to Jason Isaacs. What? I don't know what happened.
I can't even say the word smiley. Smiley.
I think you're a good guy to have in the closet because, as you know, I've never really had a career.
That has so many meanings.
And Greg's career, he did the book, and then it's gotten weird. But you were the guy, like, when we were starting out, you were fucking young, hotshot comic.
My career was a rocket ship.
Yeah.
If this was the countdown. 3, 2, 1, 0. -1. -2.
But
Here comes Patton Oswalt. There he goes. -6.
What the fuck was that? That was Margaret Cho exploding.
Hang on. In the horizon, Paul F. Tompkins taking off. -23.
Do you...
That's why everyone loves me. I've never gotten successful enough to get a backlash.
No, I can.
Oh, do people hate me?
No, I can, but I can hate you if you want.
Oh, sure.
I can turn it on.
Yeah. I think I know someone who hates me. I'll tell you after.
Okay. But did you?
But the husband of this woman I killed.
But yes, understandable. I'm going to say understandably. Yeah, and here's the thing. Just to set the scene a little bit. Dana started at 4, so he was already. So I'm actually older. I'm actually older than Dana by a year.
I started at 17.
It was a big deal, like even for Dave and for I and for us to get to like when to hang out with you when we first started. I remember one night you said something nice to me at Mel's. You were like, "Hey, that was a good set tonight," and I was like, "Fucking!" That was like getting in a hat.
Yeah,
I was high for a fucking week. You were so nice to me, and like I still have that. Like I'm friends with Dana. Like I still have that. Like you, Jake. There were a handful of people where I was like, "Oh my god!" Proops. You and Jake and Proops were because you were in the scene, but you were all leaving soon. You were in the scene, and you did. I mean, let's be honest. But we were excited because you were also like, you were the first guy really that I remember of to go out and go. This is what my dad's all about. This is what my family's all about. Here's a fucking shitty Christmas if you like it. And also here's a bit that I'm like. You did things that were like completely truthful, and then you did things that were almost like sketches. You had both those things happening in your act, where you would do like obviously the very famous Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer bit, like that shit, like really.
Yeah, I'd do a big piece, and then you do something like, as Bobcat Goldthwait once introduced me, the creepily personal Dana.
Yes. Well, your audience would be like, "Oh my God, I'm broken. But if I just sit through an hour of Dana, I'll be better.
It was.
Oh God, I want to touch you." Like it was just so crazy.
But you also took risks. I mean, there were also people that were not able to handle what you were doing, and then under your rocket ship of that, it made room for people like Janine and David and those people to go, "Oh, he's not afraid to go up there and fucking make people uncomfortable." David took it to an extreme where David would go, "What if you only made people uncomfortable?
Exactly.
What if you challenged everybody?" And then we're so sure you were right that everybody was like, how come he just made people not laugh for a while and felt like he won?
Hey, last night I went to the Improv to see a guy be mean.
But funny.
No, I remember. Well, I was. Yeah, a lot of that was. I started at 17, and I was like a working comic by 21. I mean, it was.
Yeah.
So that was that. I did have that, and I was a big and I was a big student of comedy, and I just have I had an ability to write those kind of very set pieces, and then also I was going through so much shit emotionally, and was forced to work it out on stage because I didn't have another outlet. So it wasn't any grand design. It was just kind of the shit that started leaking out.
But most other comics don't let it leak out, and they just put up this facade, and then they do You know, like you
Yes,
don't
I'm
know
not
who
that-
they are.
I'm not that
You
clever.
couldn't help it. You were just.
Yeah, no, I was just
it's coming
I
out
was
of
just
you
a
from every
wound. Yeah,
pore.
no, I was just a no, and I was.
Come
And
see
also-
the open wound.
But also,
no, that's exactly what it was, and I can't imagine I was any fun to hang out with. I've said that. I probably said this on every podcast I've ever been on. I meet people that knew me before I was 30, and I just apologize and walk away. I turned 30 in 1994.
I
and
don't-
was
but I
like,
don't
If you
rem-
kue me before then, I'm sorry.
I don't
you
remember
might-
that because I was so caught up in my own misery that I didn't really pay attention.
No, that happens a lot. But right
I
about
just
the
remember.
time-
I just remember you being manic, and you also
Yes.
you were always working. Like you were
Yeah.
always doing. Like you had. Like there were
Always.
bits coming out of you as you were living your life, and then you were saying them, and then you were saying them on stage. You were doing them, but you also, and I remember this about Patton too. There's just people like. For some reason, right after you, there became this thing where, like, you were a comic, but you didn't want to try. You were like, "World, come get me," but I'm not going to fucking play your game. Whereas I felt like you and Patton and a few people just wanted to fucking be in show business the way most people do. Like, you
You
didn't
know what my
think you.
theory about that is? I actually have a very concrete theory about that. When I moved down to LA in '89 and we started doing on Cabaret and Luna Park and all these alternative shows, we had a theory to keep it sort of fresh that you could only do new material. You know, that was the whole point. The whole point, and Janine sort of came up with it, was like, we need a place. You can't try out new shit at the Improv because somebody's going to see you, and if a new bit doesn't work, they're going to think you weren't funny, and so we needed a place to go and try out stuff. So we had a rule, like you can only do new material. So since it was new material, and you probably wrote it that day, we all had notebooks with us. That went from, oh, they have their notebooks on stage. They're not supposed to try. And it was just like, no, it has nothing to
that's
do with
interesting.
trying.
Yeah,
it means
yeah,
try
yeah.
a lot, write
Yeah,
every
yeah.
day,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then work
That's
at
interesting.
night on what you tried. And that somehow that became like a trope of, well, they're not even trying. They're reading off their notebook.
Well, but-
no, it's because I wrote it today. That's
But
why
also,
I-
the audience participated in that because they would come and then they would like what you were doing, and then you were like, "Oh, I can just talk about." I can
Yeah.
fucking do a chunk on Matchbox 20, how fucked they are, and kill. And then you take
can't-
it to a comedy club and you go, what the fuck are you talking about?
can't-
First off, I love Matchbox 20. Secondly, fuck you.
yeah, you
Who
can't
the
just
fuck do you think you are?
you can't just perform for your friends.
No, you can't.
Especially in comedy. And I was one of the few people from that group that also was working at the Improvs on the road
Right.
and at the Improv in Melrose. So I
So you knew both
bounced back
worlds.
and forth. Yeah, I bounced
I
back
did too.
and forth.
I also got out into those rooms early too, and I used to say on Beth's stage all the time. By the way, when I figure out what all the right words for this are, I'll be doing it in front of a brick wall.
Yeah.
I'll be because I want these to turn
neon-
into bits.
with
I
neon.
Yeah, because I still wanted to get on telly. There weren't that many outlets, so you were like, I still want to get on
Yeah.
Letterman or whatever.
So what happened to me?
No, seriously, what happened? Like,
So
did
I
you
had-
just,
yeah.
Did you just make the choice to become a writer, or
In a way, yes. What happened was, I was, and I had a bunch of deals to do pilots, and I've had my hand in more failed pilots than an Air Force proctologist.
That's been our show, everybody. Glitter done. Go make sure you go buy a
anyway?
T-shirt.
And now you know, based on that joke, why nothing happened with Dan.
And then I wrote a pilot for myself that got made. And I really had a great time writing it, had a lot of fun. And then I got cast in a sitcom. Finally,
Yeah.
And I didn't have anything to do, and it was called Working.
I remember
with
that.
Fred Savage.
Oh,
Yep, I saw it.
My review in the LA Times, if I could quote you, an underused third banana.
I've got one of those in my pants.
Right, and it was right, and that was such a
Stupid, right? Don't make that
What
face at me.
happened?
Don't make that face at me.
that was such a profoundly dissatisfying experience.
Yeah.
Where literally it was just like, like my job was finding the green tape, and then they like shoehorn a line for me and it was always like, if he knew our address, he'd deliver the milk. It was terrible.
Can't see how that didn't work.
Yeah, and so that ended right around the time like the comedy boom died. And there was like a lot of road work drying up. I was getting married. My wife and I were engaged, bought a house together, and I was really unsatisfied. And I got an offer to go work on The Simpsons a day a week.
Which is a fairly good show.
Yeah, and
Did
it was
okay.
George
Yeah,
Meyer,
did all right.
and they said, do you want to come in a day a week and just punch up jokes? Because George was a fan of Uncabaret, and I went, yeah, that would be great, and I could still go out on the road because I'm here Tuesdays, so it doesn't affect my life at all. And then I did that for like 4 months, and then or 6 months or whatever, and then my contract was up, and Mike Scully came in one day and said, oh, your contract's up. and I was literally
Oh God.
collecting my stuff to leave. And it's like, thank you for having me. And he just said, you want to just come every day? And I said,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my God.
And
that's
then,
great.
and the reason I love Mike Scully is because he just went, sucker. and then how do you leave that?
Yeah.
But what happened is, you're there for 7 years. You're making a lot of money.
Were you there that long?
I was there 7 years. And people.
Show's been on 22.
I know, but I
right?
didn't know
They
he
just
was
did
there
their
that long.
500th episode. And, but it was great for me. I started the show, a single guy, just buying a house with his fiance, and I ended the show a married father of two.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of financial security that went into that. But while I did
No
that,
stand-up, right?
I would do stand up in town.
Yeah,
like,
you would just- yeah,
I
you
would
just
still
had
do
some-
Largo, but I was kind of phoning it in because
Yeah.
I was exhausted.
Yeah.
And then while I was doing that, comedy sort of happened again, and everybody popped, and I felt terrible. I mean, I felt horrible. I remember once my wife and I were going out to eat, and I looked at Amoeba Music, and David Cross was like guest DJing
Yeah.
or doing a signing, and I was just furious
Yeah.
Yes.
at myself.
At yourself.
Not at David.
No, that's how my whole career is. I'm mad
yeah.
at myself for the shit I blew.
I feel like I'm going. I'm a surfer, and I'm going to go down to the beach and with a tricycle and watch the guys surf.
But it's so funny.
Yeah.
It's like you and I.
Why did I have a tricycle in that analogy?
It's
Why
just-
can't I
it's
just
just
not have a
how-
surfboard?
Weird. Here's the thing. It's like you and I both
Even
got.
your analogies, you fuck up.
But you and I literally got like a
You too have a very similar story, yeah.
strain of the same virus.
Yeah,
Michael Patrick King saw me at Uncabaret. He asked
Yeah.
me to come in and consult on Sex and the City. When Sex and the City was done, because they ran, they were like 4 seasons and out or whatever it was, 5
Yeah.
seasons and out, and then they were like, "Hey, we've got this book idea. We'll do it for the summer, and I'll go back on the road."
Right.
And then the book took me away, and in that time. Patton did. I was like, Patton would never ask me to be on Comedians of Comedy now, even
Yeah.
though we're friends, because I don't. That my brand is so fucked, and it won't. And I was same thing.
Oh my God.
I wouldn't. I never listen to me. I never watched the Comedians of Comedy movie or any of that shit because I was so angry and so jealous,
Okay.
and I was so. And by the time I returned, which wasn't around a little bit before you did. Everyone had gone.
Yeah.
The comedy had
Sorry,
happened again without
I
me.
have you guys now. This is perfect because my story is the one of no success, which is
By the way, we're going to get so laid off this podcast,
Oh, yeah.
and
It's gonna be
then
Yes. What would you
Bob
already?
Odenkirk saw me do stand up at Largo, asked me to write on his pilot, which I did. Pilot did not get picked up. Patton asked me to do host on a Comedians of Comedy tour, which I did, and then I got in a fight with Patton, and I didn't do any more Comedians of Comedy. So it sums up my career perfectly.
Right? Yeah, it's like like those opportunities. Well, here's one of my favorites. Jack Black called me one day and said, "Hey, you want to get together and play some guitars?" I'm like, "I'm already in a band, bro."
Oh my God! Oh no! Oh God!
Already in a band, bro. And also, but when David Cross, I was living with him, would say, "You come on down and do Mr. Show," and my agent, that crazy Karen Taussig, would go, "Are you on somebody else's show? Or are you a fucking star? You're not an extra."
God, she
and
was
then I would be like,
insane.
"Okay, I can't, Dave. I can't."
Yeah.
Like
I've had that advice. A guy, he's passed away now, but said, "Why do you want to be helping make Ben Stiller look funny on his show when you're going to have your own show?"
No, I wanted no.
Glashler. But the best story is for me, and this has been told by other people involved in this story, so its veracity is pretty solid. I auditioned for SNL in Chicago with 2 other guys, and I just had like the set of my career. It was just like the building was in a different spot when I walked off stage, and I remember
I love that description.
I remember flying back thinking
Never happened to me.
thinking, so this is what it's like when you actually achieve something that you thought was impossible. And then my mind immediately went to, I have to buy boxes. I'm going to move to New York. And then my crazy mind went right to, I need to buy boxes. Do I keep my apartment? Do I get a storage space? My mind really goes to that. And I'm sitting with the other 2 guys from the audition thinking, Chris Rock, Adam Sandler, you guys will be fine. Don't get too close to me. You'll be burned by the power of my heat. You'll scrabble out a career. And Chris Rock told that story on WTF. So like
Yeah.
And what was really funny is I told that story a lot because it makes me look like an asshole.
But it's great.
And so my wife went to see Chris in New York at a play, and he told her that story. And when she came back, she goes, "You know that story you tell about going to Chicago for SNL?" And she goes, "It's true."
which tells you about what she's thinking all the time when you're talking. Here goes Dana. Here's a story that's probably got like a foot in the truth, but not really real.
Yeah.
Here's
Who's
some more
once been in
extrapolation.
Chicago. That's the truth part.
It is nice. It is nice when we as comics actually have the backup from the things that we say, because we are so good at retelling something. People are quite certain, like, that can't be really how it went down, and you're like, yeah, no, it really is.
But the thing is, to you, I mean, you just do what you do, and I can't tell you how much. One of the best books about working in the business, Stephen King's On Writing, which is a great book about writing, but also just about living. And he goes, your life is not a support system for your art.
Right.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's like, you have your life, and then you do what you do, and you do what you do, and whatever happens. You do your work, and that's it. You can't, Hollywood is. Well, show business is filled with people who are dissatisfied because they're not this thing that they think they should be. And the people who are that thing that they think they should be are also dissatisfied because they've realized that it doesn't change who
They
are.
got there and nothing's
And,
different.
and
I think
so
the thing
it's people just eating it's people just eating themselves.
The only thing the only place I ever go anymore, because I don't know if you've read the War on Art by Stephen Pressfield.
No, I actually don't know how to read, which is another story.
Yeah, that's good. Well, but you should read it. The War on Art is fantastic, and it's very similar, I'm sure, to the Stephen King thing. It's the guy that wrote the book Bagger Vance, and he's written a lot of stuff. He's a genius guy, and his whole thing is like, look,
He wrote every magic black guy book.
Yes, he wrote all of them. He created the mystical black guy, and of course he's a white guy who owns a bunch of black guys. So
that's Mitt Romney.
So, that's right. God. So he.
Please don't.
But his whole thing is like.
Please don't talk about our Lord.
His whole thing is like none of the rest of. Just do your work. None of the rest of it's your business. None of it's your business, and you just keep.
Competition is the death of art.
Keep doing it. What the place I go to is I see somebody like Jack White.
Competition is the death of art," said the three men sitting in the closet.
Oh my God! Competing furiously with Pete Holmes. So
he's unstoppable.
He's a beast.
He's unstoppable.
So, but you see somebody like Jack White, and you watch somebody who seems like they're living the full realized version of what they do, and I aspire to that. I look at that and I go, I want to do something that feels like I live in a world created by me. That's about me. That like. It's fully realized. I think that's all of us want to do, is find a place where we are fully realized as artists, and it doesn't matter. And we figure the payoff will come. That's what I get jealous of, is like looking at somebody going, God, that's complete. That David Cross made sense always to me. I got what he was going for.
Yeah.
Janine seemed to figure out like, oh, that's just what Janine's going to be and will continue to be. And I think I had a lot of like, I'm going to wear this shirt this week, and I'm shaving my hair off. And I wear the big shoes, and I talk a little bit faster. Like, it's that thing of trying to figure out where you exist in the universe.
Yeah.
That's the harder part of it. And fuck Pete Holmes.
Yeah.
I think I just like shit jokes. Do I understand this conversation right? Like, I just like to tell shit jokes. Like, that's my place.
We're going to take a break. We'll take a little break.
We're going to have an intervention right now.
We're back with Dana, who's now making scary faces, which I've seen my entire career, so I know them. But they still, they tap into the primal me that's terrifying.
He can make a face. That face might keep you from going to series. That might be the going.
You have that
it has
face
so far.
And also,
there's an old joke of when you like reached over and hit the crown of thorns on the, and that's the face.
That's the scar right there.
Oh man! Wow, there's actually a scar.
Oh, there is. See it?
crown of
You
thorns.
actually.
That's a true story. Look, see it?
You cut your hand on a crown of thorns.
See? Do you see those right
Yeah.
there?
Yeah.
I impaled my hand on a crown of Jesus. I believe it's called Christ Agonistes is the name of the painting. It's Jesus on the cross. Just, and my aunt had a bust of it on the nightstand that I would sleep in when I slept over their house with my cousin. And I reached out to get a glass of water and literally impaled my hand on Jesus' crown of thorns.
And then
And later in my life, I'm like, how can I when he's not real?
I wish the bust had turned to you and go, "What are you not getting, Dana?"
Po, but he's nerfect.
You are an asshole. It is not hard to see why you were in this closet. Yes.
You belong here,
That
Dana
would have been the
Gould.
only thing that would have made everybody forgive Manson if when they arrested him, he just went, oh, but he's nerfing, and they would have had to let him go. Get out of here.
You ruffian. Give me your, look at you, you crazy nut.
5'4",
That'll get away with a bunch of murders.
all evil.
He's
So why am I doing a podcast now and everything else?
But now you've been a fairly successful writer in Hollywood terms.
Yeah.
I mean, The Simpsons is amazing. You've been a guy writing scripts.
I have
and
some TV trophies.
You always see your name, like you wrote a talking dog movie or whatever, and you. Yep. I always watch your name popping up, and like you sold this, you sold that, but not fulfilling.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. And I always sort of did. I never stopped doing stand up, but when I
But you definitely weren't as much as you
No,
were.
I was phoning it in. I was phoning it
Yeah.
in. I was at I give it all to my wife. I was at a party, and somebody said, "Are you Dana Gould?" And I said, "I used to be." And my wife said, "That's it. You've got to go back and start doing it. You're killing yourself." And then over a period of time, I sort of realized, a lot of help. I mean, I have a friend who I see about an hour a week on a semi-regular basis. Yeah.
Is this a guy you just like to give money to?
At the end of this, yeah.
Now, do you guys meet at certain places or just one place?
No, it's one place, and it's weird. He sits in a chair, and I have a bigger piece of furniture that I sit on. But
I'd like to get his name actually after this.
It would be
podcast.
funny if that.
I'm sure my wife would love it.
It would be funny if the theory of psychiatry, the design of the office, was started because the first guy that had that therapy just had a massive ass. It's like, well, we better have a couch for we better have a couch for them because their asses are all going to be huge. See, it's all like bears think that people always have shit in their pants because every person that's ever been caught by a bear shits their pants immediately.
Right.
So bears must think, oh look, fear pudding. They're all full of fear pudding.
Oh my God! Did you get the chewy pear pudding? Did you get that? That's what they're stoked about.
Yeah, and then they point to it. Look at them all. They have that shit in their pants. Look at them all. No, they don't know. We haven't shat yet. But he said a really brilliant thing because I was saying, like, I'm a grown man and I kind of feel weird. I have kids and I want to do this and I want to do several things. And he said to me, do you think anybody would buy Steve Martin's book if he wasn't Steve Martin? And I said, no, having read them. And he goes, yeah, Steve Martin is Steve Martin. And that allows him to do all these other things.
Right.
But you can't do that if you take away the nuclear rod that powers him. And in your case, you're a stand-up. You'll do a million things in your life. You're a stand-up.
Right.
You can be an actor in a movie. You could write a one-man show. You could be in an opera.
Yes.
Whatever you do, you're a stand-up. And you can't not do that and expect these other things to flourish. It all comes from that. One conversation. I should have never gone back to him.
right. But just jettison from there.
That literally, that turned me around. And it was literally like when you get your glasses right, like this one or this one, this one or this one, this one or this one.
Right.
And it was like, exactly.
Well,
right.
what do you
well,
think
that's yeah.
Do you regret?
I can't. I regret not going full throttle into it sooner. And yeah, if with the gift of hindsight, I would have left The Simpsons after 5 years, or or not gone on it at all. But how can you regret? I have an awesome life. I can't.
Well, that's the
everything
thing.
worked
Like,
out.
if
Yeah.
your home life,
My home life's
if your
awesome.
family
yeah.
life is awesome, then
Yeah.
it's like.
Yeah.
Like,
do
it
I wish
tempers it.
do I wish I was, on the Comedians of Comedy tour? Sure.
Yeah.
But
A guy came up to me this week at New York, and he's like, the last time I saw you on stage was Comedians Comedy in Atlanta, and after the show, everyone was hanging out, and you were just busting Zach and Patton's ass the whole time and making fun of him, and I thought it was fucking hilarious, and I was like, I can't even believe anybody saw me at the Comedians of Comedy tour.
But you know what? But just take comfort in this. It never ends. I used to
it
say
feels like it does end.
See, no, I used to say, when I would bitch, when I was going out to dinner with my wife, looking at David Cross's name at Amoeba, and just boiling inside.
Yeah.
Yep.
And finally, my wife said, "What is it?" And I just went, "I'm the fucking Pete Best of comedy." That's what it is. Okay? So now I'm reading Playboy's 20 Questions with Albert Brooks. or whatever it was, like recently, or an interview with Albert Brooks recently. And it was promoting the movie Drive. Mm-hmm. And they said, who in show business do you most relate to? And he said, Pete Best. It's like,
really?
And I look at Albert Brooks like, you're Elvis. How can you pause?
Why?
Because he's not who he thinks he should be.
Oh,
right,
Jesus.
and probably hasn't done what he thinks he should do.
Yeah,
I don't think anybody has that thing. I sat down with Cross and he.
Albert Brooks has a great Twitter feed.
Wow, that's true. Point made. Full circle.
Yeah. Elvis Presley was pissed off that he couldn't sing like Roy Orbison.
Okay.
I sat with Cross a couple years ago, and he was like, he said he had just come back from.
Did he mention me?
He'd come back from doing some European rock festival thing. The all parties, whatever. It's a very hipster English thing that's curated by different people.
Oh, I know that.
All tomorrow's parties. And something, and he goes, I just can't work for the people that already know what I'm going to do. Like, I can't. Nobody's like, I go preaching to the choir conventions. Like, my whole thing is like, I can't find a place to do what he originally did, which was fucking infuriate people and learn how to be better.
Shaving the Pope's pussy.
And feeling like he's not, like he's cheating himself or not being a good enough artist or not going at it. Like, I don't think anybody arrives at a place of total satisfaction. Like, there just isn't that.
If you're an artist, you should never be satisfied.
But the fact that I've quit comedy 25 times in my head and I'm still fucking doing it, and we just did it this weekend, and I'm going to go do it for the next month and around the world. And I get to go around the world. Like, you're right. That is the nuclear rod of what we do and how you do it. And also, like, you have no idea what's next. It's weird because we live in a time where the Rolling Stones were the first band to just continue going, and so people were throwing old guy jokes at them in their 30s.
Yes.
So now they're in their 70s and they're still fucking doing it, and now it's just become the thing. Like, if you're still around, you can still fucking do it. And so, and Tom Waits was a good example we talked about earlier.
And they would say, like, well, nobody made fun of B.B. King for being older.
Right. And here's the thing. And if there are enough people to still like me, who gives a fuck who they are, right? It doesn't matter, right? B.B. King.
The Big Bopper himself. B.B. King. That's a Pete Holmes joke, believe it or not. Right? I have to explain how funny Pete Holmes is. I was just at again, because of my wife, I was at the Vanity Fair Oscar party.
Yes.
And, you meet everybody there, and it's a bunch of gas bags. And then, but I'm literally like wedged up against Smokey Robinson.
Yeah.
Right? I can't get past Smokey Robinson. And finally I look at him and we're just kind of staring at each other. And I go, of all the people I meet tonight, I finally get to meet somebody important. And he like hugged me like, thank you. And it was just such a sweet moment. And then Pete Holmes said it would have been so funny if then he just fucked it and it just got the Big Bopper himself. Just ruined it.
Just wreck it. Just fucking wreck it.
You invented the twist.
Oh, man. It was, right? Is that you? That's you, right? Yeah, we're having a party, though, Sam Cooke. God damn it. Hang on. I'm going to get this.
And there was
this.
Can I tell you one other weird story about it? But I do want to pick up. I don't want to interrupt your train of thought.
No.
About the Rolling Stones. So there's this one old guy at the Vanity Fair party. Just this. I said, who is that, Dracula? Because it looked like old Bela Lugosi, and he was wearing like a Dracula medallion, like a ribbon and a sash.
Yep.
And he's talking to somebody that I'm standing there with, and he's just a gas bag. Blaggity, 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 blah. And finally the guy interrupts him because I have to introduce you to my friend. Dana, this is Buzz Aldrin.
Oh my God!
And I'm just in there, who is this old fuck? What can he tell me? Doesn't he know I'm on Conan next week? Doesn't he want to warm his hands on the glow? Hi, I walked on the moon. What about you? I saw Rise of the Planet of the Apes at the drive-in.
Have you heard of Luna Park?
Yeah.
Started it.
Fucking Buzz Aldrin. No,
I have the best Storage Wars joke I know. And what have you done?
Hang on, dude. Let me just show you something I tweeted. So, you got the homeless guys out on... So is it homeless Spider-Man or whatever? Oh, God, Dana's doing the homeless Spider-Man thing. Dana, it's time to go home.
You can't let go.
Sweetie,
I've only
time
tweeted one time. I just nailed the first one.
I've stood on moon rocks.
So I'm explaining Twitter to Buzz Aldrin, and he's long blinking, like his eyes are shutting.
Yeah.
No, but I guess I was just saying is there's no precedent. There's no precedent for what's happening right now. There's no, and they're also like, I think that the wrong thing is, I think a lot of times is you compare yourself to other careers that have happened and go, well, where do I fit in that paradigm, as opposed to like shit that it's always things that you don't expect, or career, like no one expected podcasting. Fucking no one saw it coming, and it literally just grabbed certain people. I mean, fucking Pardo was there at the beginning, and then it took Mark Maron and turned him into something when that guy was literally almost done.
Yeah.
Almost ready to close down the shop. Nobody was interested. Nobody was buying, and he literally wasn't touring. People weren't in. He couldn't do radio. Radio was dying. And so you don't know you have no idea where your relevance will be or what can happen.
Right. And you just and that's a great story because he just kept showing up. I mean, it's like the only way they kill you is if you quit. I mean, that's what Winston Churchill said. Right. Never, ever, ever, ever quit. You just keep going and things will. But you also have to adapt, and that's a brilliant thing about what Mark said. Evolution does not favor the strongest. Evolution favors the species that adapts the fastest.
And that brings us back to the guy who was fucking all the women in your dorm.
Mongo, now chair of the philosophy department in Heidelberg.
Here's the thing about Doug Herman. He invented podcasting.
and then changed his name to Pee-wee, and his whole career changed.
Well, it's fascinating to me because I was in New York for 5 years, and looking back on it, I think it was very harmful to my act and my development as a comedian because you just learn to battle the audience and the rat-a-tat joke telling, and you don't turn into what you need to be, which is longer form stand up and all that.
It can be a cauldron.
Yeah,
that scene.
You also. This is I thought about this all this weekend. There were a group of your friends, me being one of them, Kilgariff being the other one, who were like, "Come to where we are. It will be fun."
And I would never do it.
Come to where Dana is. Come to where literally when everybody fucking migrated south and we all became this.
We're all going to the soup plantation.
That's right.
And then we're doing a show together, and then we're gonna go have a drink.
Right. Then Kathy Griffin's going to Kathy Griffin's going to let everybody spank her, and Tarantino's going to be in the background, and then we're all going to fucking wake up hungover, and we're going to go see the new Sheridans.
Yeah, but I couldn't because Karen was there because the girlfriend I broken up with, my heart was broken. I had to go to the other side of the country.
Are you listening, people?
That's what I had to do. You know about going to the other side of the country. You got to fucking go. I had to get away. I couldn't take it. So, and I was also terrified of standing on stage and doing that kind of comedy. It scared me. I wasn't ready to do it. So I just did New York, and it wasn't that great. And then I moved to LA, and it's been much better. But when I was in New York, I was like, I'll try. I'm going to go to one of the clubs and do a set. So I went to Gotham, and I was halfway through my set, and I thought, oh, this is why I left. This is why I do something different now, because this doesn't feel right. And then the next night, I'm at our show, and I'm like, right.
Yeah.
This is what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
This is fucking awesome.
And I strongly recommend George Carlin's Last Words.
Really?
Yeah, because he also talks about I cannot say enough good about the guy. He talks about
he's a fan of Hitler, right?
He is but you know who was it Von?
Oh, Von Dutch?
Yeah, Von Dutch.
Is
and I love seeing Jewish girls with a Von Dutch hat on, like
driving
walking
a BMW.
around. You Jack Ball. No, but Carlin talks about like being at in 1980, like reading like a farewell to the 70s thing in Time magazine. He's like, thank God we say goodbye to disco. And he goes, and there I was, number 23, George Carlin.
Really?
Holy shit.
Oh yeah, like he was so out of vogue, and they used to do bits on SCTV about how lame he was. Like
really?
Rick Moranis. You can go see him on YouTube. Rick Moranis is George Carlin with cards going, why are there blueberries? Blueberries. Weird.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
But he just kept working, and then and he goes and he said, I spent 10 years in the wilderness. I spent 10 years not knowing what I was doing, but just knowing I had an audience, and then something in him just cracked.
Yeah.
And he redeveloped into this thing, and then it was jamming in New York, where he did that whole thing about the planet is fine, and did this entirely, like, one of the greatest stand-up bits of all time, this incredibly metaphysical bit about the importance of the planet and the unimportance of humanity, and how the planet will, that human beings have a thing called save the planet.
Yeah, it's
like,
not
and it's
save
like,
the planet.
no, the planet is going to shake us off like a bad case of fleas.
Yeah, right.
And that's what he said. The planet isn't going anywhere. We are. And it was just amazing. And that changed the way he did stand-up. And then he reinvents himself, and he goes. And he just wouldn't quit. He just kept showing up. And I was talking to, Stephen King, quit writing books. He says, I think I'm done. I don't have anything in me anymore. I got hit by a truck. I'm just fed up.
Yeah.
And his new book is my favorite book he's ever written.
I mean,
11/22/63. It's one of my favorite novels he's ever written. And
but to that point, Dave, it's inconceivable that what happened Saturday night would have happened 3 years ago. So,
Right.
I mean, that idea that a bunch of people fucking showed up to see us do stand-up and the band was, I mean, it was like a fucking...
Well, the internet has just blown. Like spent so much time trying to break into clubs in New York and be like one of the regular guys. And now I go there and I'm like, I don't give a fuck about any of the clubs.
But Tompkins said this on Maron's show, and this I thought was awesome. Maron had that thing of like, well, don't you feel like, you do these Tompkins 300. Tompkins literally just crafts his shows to be people that like him only, and he doesn't want to go to clubs. And a lot of people go, well, then you're not a real comic if you don't like that.
Yeah,
and Tompkins goes, I can go to a club and I can do it. And I have to work to get people to like me. Or I can go somewhere where people like me and I can see how much further I can go. When I'm working in front of people that want to see me, where does my comedy get to go then? Because I can grow in a room where I have the space to grow. If I go to a comedy club, I'm just simply doing the task of entertaining people
Right. It's a
who
job.
maybe don't want to be entertained.
Yeah.
And I think there is something in that idea of like, you also just have to continue to create an audience that is interested in you and then do shit that they will like.
Yeah.
That's all you're creating for. And it can't be for UCB, and it can't just be for Largo, or it can't just be for the Improv. So you can't just worry about that.
And that's what bands do. I mean, to use that analogy again, like you don't go to the Roxy like, who are we seeing tonight? I don't know. Might be a ska band. Might be Tom Waits. I don't know what we're gonna see.
Where you going? Yeah, you want to go see the band tonight? A musical band.
The musical band.
Yes.
music.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So I understand. I understand that.
The Danny Gould Hour is available on iTunes. Yeah.
Tis.
Oh, I love that.
And
are you on iTunes?
And if you search Dana Gould, you probably won't get it for some reason. But if you say Dana Gould Hour, it'll show up. I'm working on that.
So we got
I'm
a lot
working on
we will have people that'll help you with that.
That would be nice.
Yeah, well, that's the one thing you also
I have
find.
a guy.
Here's the fucking thing. Here's what you'll find when you get your podcast. There are fucking people all around the world that are ready to do shit for you.
Yeah, they
it's
come out of the
fucking
woodwork.
unbelievable.
No, yeah.
Posters and
very nice.
and like, can I mix this thing for you? What else do you need? Here's what I do. I mean, we had a guy come and write us a treaty about what we should be doing with our fucking lives and what works about us and where we should be doing it. Like, just interested, just like, hey, look, you don't have to do this, but here's what's great about what you're doing. Here's what's not, like that. If I can help you in any way, it's unbelievable. The kind of what is it? That people are nice to you. What is that called?
Yeah.
Charity.
Charity. Yeah. No, I have found it. Dave. I was thinking about it, but I didn't have an idea to do that would make it interesting,
Right.
and like you guys, I don't like bothering my friends
Yeah.
to come do my show. So there was no way I could do like an interview I don't have that
Right.
in my body. And then we were talking, and then I had an idea of a way to do based on an old radio show here in LA called Joe Frank's In the Dark.
Yep.
Which was a sort of segmented storytelling, and I got on the idea of I can break it up, I can do different things and score it and smash it into little pieces and have it sort of be cubist and that sort of got me excited, and then I started doing it. But I managed to find a way to make it back-breakingly work intensive. It's like if I did this show,
Yeah.
what I would then do is listen to it and mark the time codes of the segments that I wanted to break up and mark the time codes of the pieces that I wanted edited out. And then I would give them to my sound editor, and then we would pick music, and then I would also have to record 2 or 3 other pre-recorded pieces
David,
that are also in there, and then I mix it into a little soup, which is why I've done 3. But
See, that's the thing. Here's the thing with Dave.
but they're lovely. They're lovely
They
to
are
listen
lovely.
to.
They're good. I listened to the first one. I liked it very much. This is honestly, we've said this from the fucking beginning. Like sometimes where people are like, well, that was a little bit too much of this. So I say, hey, this is literally 2 guys that have been friends for a long time that weren't spending time together. We were not hanging out together. We weren't spending time together. We literally had our friendship once a week. There were no rules. We had no segments. We stopped talking after a little while because a friend of ours goes, don't go for an hour solid. People want to just make it feel like. But that was it, and that was the paradigm for the thing. We're just like, this is what we're gonna do, and we're just gonna do this, and if people like it, they'll fucking like it, and maybe they'll fucking hate it. But it was like that was it. Because I said, Dave, I go, I don't want to fucking do a podcast. I don't want to do anything hard. I don't want you. You get the shit. You bring it over. You fucking do it. I've tried. I'm done trying. I'm done working hard.
And now a couple weeks ago, he's like, I want to learn how to edit. Like now Grandpa's coming around.
Editing's hard. Well, yeah, and then compare and contrast that to what I was doing last week, which was helping my 7-year-old daughter record Jack Ruby's letters from prison, which is one of the.
But that's gonna be fucking awesome.
You can hear it. It's already up.
Is it already up?
Yeah.
Is that two? Is that on number 2?
It's on number 3.
On number 3. Okay.
This is one of the most terrible things that has ever happened to anyone. But I had such strong feelings for President and Mrs. Kennedy.
Oh my God!
Now I am the most despicable person in the world.
Oh
All right. Thank you for.
Thanks for having me on. This was great. This
really
was great.
Yeah, this is really good.
Feel cleansed.
We'll be in Australia.
Yep.
April 2nd is
doing
our
a
live podcast.
pod-
April 4th
podcast.
is the midnight show with Will Anderson and Charlie Clausen, the guys from Tofop. And then I am getting one of the guys from the Dum Dum Club just sent me an email. He said thinks he can get me on a couple of shows. So I'm starting to get.
You're gonna do some shows
be
when
able
you're
to
there.
do other shows.
We'll put them up in the dome, and then
I'm strongly thinking of going to Sydney on the last weekend I'm there and renting out a room and doing a show there.
I'm going to now do David Martin
Oh,
yeah,
talking about your trip to Australia.
okay.
David Martin is my manager.
Yes, my
and David
was my
Warren.
manager,
Yes.
and we never had a parting of the ways because he moved to Australia.
He quit. He quit.
No, he
started-
didn't quit. He moved to Australia and did something else. But we all love him dearly, and he always people always tell him about my impression of him.
Yeah.
And it's all out of love, and I never do it in front of him because I'm afraid it would be awkward.
Yeah,
but
well, don't
now
worry, he
can
doesn't
hear
listen to
it.
this.
Yeah, in case he does, he can hear it. So, and all it is Mel Gibson, but you clench your teeth. So David and Greg are going down to Australia, and I think David just got an email from the Dum Dum Club. It's a band. I don't know, but I guess they're going to do some shows now. So it's great. Now it's really great. It's working out really great for David and Greg. It's great.
About right.
Fuck,
it is.
that is fucking crazy spot on. That's who I talk to when I'm
Nicest guy
losing my
ever.
mind. When I'm losing my mind, and then there's a long pause, and he's like, "Yeah, but you're doing, you've got other things going on."
I had to talk to David when I had literally lost my mind, which is all I think of when I see him. I was like,
my God.
Remember that time I showed up at your house because I was afraid to be alone?
He's a lovely fucking.
They're both
he really
great.
is. He's a real lovely.
They're the
lovely
greatest
guy.
people
He and
ever.
his wife are awesome. So then also we're
Couldn't
going to
have
be
enough
doing a live
good about
pod cuddle in Seattle on May.
Second with
Where you doing that?
Casey Anderson and Dwayne Gould at a place called Chopsticks. The Chopsticks.
Oh, I just did that. that.
yeah?
Oh, it's great.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
good.
it's
Is
great.
that a good room?
Oh, it's terrific. You'll have a blast.
Oh,
Great.
we're excited about
Yeah.
that. And then the 100th episode.
100th episode.
The 20th
20th
of April
of April.
at Meltdown. Tickets will be on sale later on this
Patton
week.
Oswalt, Brian Posehn,
Yeah.
Karen Kilgariff, and
What's that? Hey, Paul Gilmartin.
Paul Gilmartin.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. That'll be fantastic.
And Jesus Christ. Glitter.
Well, he's on
Dot?
every show.
Yes, he's always with us in the closet.
Glitter done.